So I'm just gonna go with that.
We are live.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 121st meeting of your own professional speakers, where eloquence meets impact. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Taking the business further, first we shall talk about our short-term goals. For that, I shall be sharing these slides in which the members of the club who are present in the meeting shall share about their short-term goals and how we are going to achieve them. Are my slides visible? Okay. Thank you. Anshu Priya Prasad.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anshu Priya Prasad, and my short-term goal is to improve my listening skills, and I'm working towards it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anshu.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Devna Chaturvedi. The slide that you see on screen is the update on my previous short-term goal, which I completed in September, and I'm yet to set my next short-term goal.
Thank you, Devina.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mukesh Thakur, and my short-term goals as a professional speaker are fourfold. First one is to reduce grammatical mistakes to zero. Second is uninterrupted flow of content. Third is flawless enunciation and pronunciation, and fourth is stay natural on the stage. For first and the second, I am writing 1,000 words per day. And for third and fourth, I am doing some vocal variety exercises and reading out loud. So for this week, I have written 7,000 words, and I have read around 77 pages this week. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are to improve my pronunciation and to improve my accent. For this, I have been reading almost 10 pages, at least 10 pages of a novel. And I am also writing some stories. During the last week, I wrote 3 stories which comprised of around more than 7,000 words. And as far as uploading of the video and delivery of speech on module at other clubs is concerned, that is on the way, and I shall be doing it very soon. Thank you very much. Okay, we do not have Rolisina as at this moment. Sandeep.
Hello everyone, myself Sandeep. I have 2 SMART goals for this year. One is to have the better command on English language, either by reading novel or writing the blog. For this, I have made an improvement. I have written a blog on the critical point, which is a part of my future speech as well. On the second part is impromptu speaking part. So far, I have not any improved from last week. I will be covered next week. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shivpriya. My first short-term goal is to improve my writing skills, and I intend to write 9 articles. I believe that it's not going to be possible by December 31st. I might have to revise my deadline. I'm still in the process of identifying my secondary focus area, and I'll be coming up with my second short-term goal by next week. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Shivpriya. So with this, we are done with our short-term goals now. It's time to welcome our guests. I would like to welcome guest Anisha Gupta, guest Haritika Ahuja, guest Naveen Sharma, guest Rajinder Arora, guest Rupali Podar, and guest Satya Narayanan Dinakaran. And we have guest. Okay, so we are done with the guest. All the guests, thank you, welcome. Sorry, Devina, you want to say something?
We also have Toastmaster Gayatri joining us as a guest today.
Okay. Toastmaster Gayatri, now it's your second welcome to your second home. We have also guest Toastmaster Naveen. Welcome all the guests. We shall be taking your feedback. At the same time, we shall also be involving you in various activities of our club. And just be attentive and listen to the speeches which we deliver in our club today. Now it's time to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. Before that, let's talk about something about theme. Do you know what is the theme of the meeting today?
Push yourself.
Push yourself. I just encountered this beautiful piece about pushing yourself. I would like to read it. One more rep, one more sit, one more mile. That's what it takes to get the edge. Winning is what happens when deep down inside you get tired of losing. If you really want to know what you are capable of, push yourself to the limits. If you really want to know what you are made up of, push yourself to the limits. If you really want to realize your true potential, push yourself to the limits. If you really want to discover the hidden treasures within you and without you, push yourself to the limits. If you really want to go deep into the earth like roots and be humble just like the valley, push yourself to the limits. If you want to soar high into the sky like the branches and be glorious like the mountain, push yourself to the limit. If you do not push yourself, you will never grow. If you do not push yourself, you will never develop any kinds of strength. If you do not push yourself, you will never learn and discover anything new. If you do not push yourself, you will fall into the rut. If you do not push yourself, you will remain as ignorant as ever about yourself and the world around you. If you do not push yourself, your world will always remain the same. If you do not push yourself, everyone around you will push you in the direction you do not want to go. Pushing yourself consciously is in anything you are doing means you have full control over yourself and your own life. As a result, you feel much more empowered than ever before. What a quote, what a word, how beautiful are the words. I do not know who is the writer. These are anonymous, which I found in Google. But the person who is going to talk about the theme, push yourself, is not unknown. Her just simple smile is good enough to push ourselves to the limits. Let me introduce the Toastmaster of the day, Anshupriya Prasad. Toastmaster Anshupriya Prasad is a journalist currently working as a senior producer with India TV. She has started her journey with the Toastmasters in February 2018. From then on, she has been learning and growing in the process. So, members and guests, are you ready to be pushed? Let's take it to Anshupriya Prasad, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Raj Mehta, and thank you for that beautiful quote or poem. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Professional Speakers 121st meeting. As you know, that theme for today is push yourself, because no one is going to do it for you. If I talk about myself, I used to be scared, frightened from table topics. Any impromptu speech, I was not able to deliver. And because I could not even spoke for 10 seconds or 20 seconds at a stretch. And the worst part is, I was not doing anything about it. But then came this free path which Toastmasters was offering. And when I was selecting the path, I thought, and I asked myself, what's new? What's going to be different this time? I have already done CC. I am already doing another path. What will I do with this new path? Then I decided to challenge myself and to push myself. And I decided to deliver all the speeches in this new path impromptu. As I told you that even the thought of delivering an impromptu speech sends chills down my spine. But once I decided, then I thought I would be sticking to it. And I practiced table topics for 2-3 days. And I delivered my first impromptu icebreaker speech at my home club. And I was amazed to see that I was able to deliver 4 to 6 minutes speech. That time I understood that we can do everything and anything. All the limitations are in our mind. That's why I have chosen this theme, push yourself. And I have told my example, how I pushed myself. And I have come a long way from I cannot to I can. And I believe if I can, then everyone can do this. So push yourself and achieve your goals, because only you can achieve what you dream for. No one else can do it for you. So now it's time to tell you about our structure. Usually our structure of the meeting is like this. Like our meeting is divided into 6 parts. First part is business segment, where our members tell us about their progress, which you have already witnessed. Second part is a professional speech, where our member delivers 14 to 18 minute speech. Third part is table topics, where members from the audience participate in the session, and they are given an on-the-spot topic, and they have to deliver a speech from 1 to 2 minutes. And fourth segment is prepared speech, where 2 of our members deliver prepared speeches for 5 to 7 minutes each. And fifth segment is our USP. It's a power talk segment, where an established speaker gives us insight about professional speaking. And sixth segment is evaluation segment, where G, tag team, and members from the audience help us to evaluate our meeting. So please keep your notes ready, because you may be asked to give feedback to our speakers. So now it's time to introduce our role players of today's meeting. Please help me welcome our general evaluator of the day, DTM Raj Mehta. Our timer of the day, DTM Shivpriya Gauri. Our counter of the day, very special, TM Gayatri. And our grammarian of the day is DTM Mukesh Thakur. I would request our grammarian to introduce the word of the day.
Thank you very much. Can someone highlight me, spotlight me? Rasa. Okay, you can see the word of the day on my virtual background. Virtual background. The word of the day is Sitzfleisch. Sitzfleisch. The pronunciation is written here. This is adoption from German language, and it is also a concept of a Sitzfleisch in German, where people get more work done with the same resources. The meaning is an ability to sit through or tolerate something boring, or the ability to endure or persist in a task. The example can be it is due to this flies of the members of professional speakers that they are acing the communication world. So I would encourage all of you to utilize this word of the day. This virtual background shall stay on my screen so to remind you that you have to utilize this word. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Mukesh. Now we are moving into our second segment. There is a little change. So we are straight away moving into our fourth segment, which is prepared speeches. So you will be going to listen our prepared speaker first. So our first prepared speaker is DTM Devina Chaturvedi. Devina is a Toastmaster for over last 5 years. Devina has been known to challenge herself to deliver different types of speeches. Her favorite speeches are those where she presents a breakdown of different aspects of public speaking in simple and memorable terms. She is a budding speaker and a storyteller. Before she made the error of prioritizing her education over all else, she served as a leader in District 41 at the club, division, and district level. Her short-term goal is to use 5 new words or phrases in a prepared speech. Today, Devina is going to deliver an icebreaker speech, Project 1 of Level 1 from Engaging Humor. Please welcome DTM Devina to the stage. Devina Chaturvedi, looking at a stranger. Devina Chaturvedi.
Mirrors. Reflective surfaces that show a clear image based on an amalgamation of rays of light that fall on them. Standing in front of a mirror, most people look at it and see themselves. Not I. I see a stranger. Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and all our dear guests, allow me to explain. Let me begin by introducing you to 6-month-old Devina.
Wow.
6-month-old Devina was born in Lucknow and immediately after moved to a small town in Uttar Pradesh called Ujjahan. There was nothing much there except for an NTPC power plant where her parents worked. So she spent her time just bouncing around from one home to the other while the entire colony looked after her and her parents were at work. This little 6-month-old Devina was a massive cricket player. She was so famous that players from all across that little colony of 2,000 people at the max would come around, line up, and wait for her to throw a ball at them that they could just throw here and there with their bats and always hit a 6 off. This 6-month-old Devina knew practically nothing and still was one of the most cherished people in anybody's life that she touched. Now let me introduce you to Devina when she was 10 years old. Nearing teenage, you start to develop hobbies, and Devina also developed a couple of them. One of her most precious ones was, of course, dancing. She was a classical dancer. She had learned Kathak, she had learned Bharatnatyam, as well as she performed on various platforms in different folk forms of India, including Ghumar, Bhangra, Gidda, even Odissi for that matter. She even performed Bihu and Kathakali as classical forms. This Devina was so fond of dancing that 18 out of all the, like at least 18 hours a week for her was spent in dance classes. Not including the dances that she used to perform in front of her mirror, not including dances she was asked to perform when guests would come over. 18 hours in a week just in dance classes. You'd wonder, she must have been such a bad student if she was spending all that time in dance. No, she was a scholar through and through, acing all her subjects in all the grades that she entered. Why? Because guess what? Her parents would not let her enter dance class if she hadn't finished her homework. Then there were some tough times for Devina as she became a 15-year-old. This was her state practically always. People would just come, dump whatever they had to on her, and then just leave. And she'd just stand there, not even caring to remove all the items that had been dumped on her. This not just goes to clothes, but also to feelings, to anger, to just mere anything that anybody around her had to release. She just became that punching bag for everyone around her. As a result, her own self-confidence deteriorated, and she just became somebody who was all the time sad. She had nothing to look forward to. Never did she even speak up about how she felt when other people treated her the way they did. But that phase was not to last long. And she became a happier person as she entered her 17th year of age. She started traveling a lot, mostly with her family, but still. And that really became a cherished moment for her. She would do crazy things while on trips, like putting a camera inside out and asking somebody else to take that picture. Then she found a love for public speaking. So much so that she became the cultural secretary of her school. And trust me, through that year that she was the cultural secretary, there wasn't a single event in school where she did not hold the mic and speak. If she had a way, she would also hijack the parent-teacher meetings. Then came her college days. She turned into a 20-year-old and became the craziest person any group could ever have. While everybody else decided to pose, she would be the one who would be like, let's do something fun, something weird. She'd just see any idol anywhere placed in the city, and she'd just kneel down and be like, oh God, just help me and my friends. That she became the butt of all jokes, and happily so for her friends. Having experienced the kind of sadness she did, she realized that she did not want to see anybody else around her in that phase ever. She was so crazy that she'd lie down in the sand and make sand angels in the sand at the age of 20 plus. And then came this 24-year-old Devina. She's no fun, you know. She doesn't go out. She doesn't talk to anyone. She just stays in this one room that she so adores. She relies on her green screen to hide whatever she has in her background, whatever books she likes. She doesn't even take the stage that often. She speaks like once in 3 months. This stranger of Devina that she's become, I don't recognize her. But I know as she nears her 25th, the completion of her 25th year of life, she's going to evolve further. And then again, she'll be looking at a stranger, but then she'll still be a happier stranger than the one that she looks at now. Madam Toastmaster.
Shukriya?
Me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Anshupriya.
Okay, actually electricity was cut off. So now, thank you, Devina. And I loved your beautiful journey. And I don't see you as a stranger. I see you as a friend, a very adorable friend. So now please take a minute to write your notes and consolidate your feedback for the speaker.
Madam, 1 minute is already over. Do you want me to time for another minute?
No, it's okay. Now it's time for our second prepared speaker. And our second prepared speaker is TM Sandeep Kumar. Sandeep is a sales professional having 11 years of experience and an enthusiastic Toastmaster for over 4.5 years. He is adventurous and progressive learner. He is currently working with Daikin Air Conditioning India Private Limited as area sales manager. He aims himself to be effective and persuasive leader. His motto in life is set an aim and convert it into a challenging game. His short-term goal is to get at least 80% accuracy in grammar. Today, Sandeep is going to deliver project 2 of level 1 from Effective Coaching Path. The purpose of this project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Please welcome TM Sandeep to the stage. Sandeep Kumar, A Journey to Rainbow Iceland. A Journey to Rainbow Iceland. Sandeep Kumar.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Day. I would like to correct the title is Island, yes, A Journey to the Rainbow Island.
Yeah, A Journey to a Rainbow Island. I must correct my grammar first. Okay, over to you, Sandeep.
Thank you. Life is like an equation with too many variables. We can't predict. And when this equation gets solved, it results into happiness. Unfortunately, we have lost something along the way while growing up in solving this equation. When people talk about childhood, they keep on saying that there are certain good things which everyone should retain since their childhood. There are some potential factors which should remain unaltered or forgotten with time. Childhood is an unparalleled phase of life, as we know. It is like a rainbow. There are so many colors that exist, but rainbow holds a few ones, which forms a basis to appear magnificently. In the same way, there are so many things in life, but childhood holds most valuable characteristics that forms basis of true happiness. Let me take you all to a journey of this colorful island of childhood via route of full of joy and moments. Remember your childhood time when every day was a new adventure. We woke up with full of energy to take on the world. Remember that innocent smile, which won billion of hearts, whatever be your mood or for no specific reason. When we were kids, we were not afraid of anything. Even we did not analyze the probability of getting injured or falling down or being afraid of failure. We moved fearless with no regrets, no intrigues, nothing. We only enjoyed life. Let me show you a magical mirror which might give you a reflection of your childhood too. Like you, I grew up with all joy of childhood, but one day when I went to attend my friend's sister's marriage in 2008, I realized something. My friend gave me responsibility to handle children of his relatives. I thought if I could have been given the responsibilities of stealing shoes of the groom, that would have been rather much better than handling the children. And even they were not 2 or 3, they were around 25. And one can interact with children by acting as a child only. That time, I felt I lost child in myself, in journey of career growth and responsibilities, in spite of having good career, name, healthy life and relationships, because children were moving away from me. Thanks to that moments, which made me bounce back with refreshing mind to live unconditionally and also provided fuel to child within me. Recently, we witnessed DTM Devina Chaturvedi, who recently visited this island. And I think that is the best example or glimpse of this island. Even I realized that a childhood is free from all evil feelings. That is jealousy, superiority, inferiority, greed, anger, and any discrimination. Even child look into the world with new eyes, beginners' minds. They look what is happening in front of them with curiosity and ability to astonish. Even when child see a child, they see the same light of nature in each other. How many of you know Vibgyor? Can anyone tell what is Vibgyor?
Colors of rainbow.
Exactly. Maybe spectrum of rainbow, that is Vibgyor, means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red to you. But when I look it from binocular of childhood, it appears something different for me. Versatile, inspiring, brave, genuine, young, optimistic, and respectful. Friends, this island is full of candy. It is up to us how much can we take and enjoy this bite. And as long journey is concerned, any journey is incomplete without any song or music. When these 7 colors of rainbow become 7 musical notes, it creates that melodious song which we used to sing with our childhood buddies. Are you ready with me to join this? Let us join together again for that song. I request all of you to unmute your phone or system. We shall overcome, we shall overcome,
We shall
overcome someday.
Oh, so
Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe
we
we shall
overcome
overcome
someday.
someday. After that, I came to the point, child is nothing like the face. It is always an element which you can carry in your adulthood or maybe old age. It is a perception that child is the face. No. If you have a child within you, you can enjoy this island. I visit this island frequently. What about you, Toastmaster of the day?
Yes, I would like to visit it too. And I really liked your rainbow journey. Now we will take a minute to write. I would request to write your notes for the feedback. Thank you, Shipriya. Now we are finished with our prepared speeches for today's meeting, and it's time to move into next segment, table topics. And our table topics master of the day is DTM Shipriya Gauri. You must have heard about the mother of dragons. Here we have the mother of procrastination. When every successful person's philosophy is, if other can't do it, I should do it. If I can't do it, I should definitely do it. But her philosophy is, if I can't do it, why waste time? If others can't do it, then definitely don't waste time. Having said that, she feels that laziness brings innovation in terms of efficiency. Shipriya is a talent and change consultant by profession and a Toastmaster by passion. She loves to travel and explore. Please help me welcome our table topics master of the day, DTM Shipriya Gauri.
Thank you very much, everyone. A very good evening to everybody. Now, I would request you to quickly nominate yourself so that we don't waste much of your time. I do have a lot of guests. In case if you're a Toastmaster and a guest and not performing any role, please raise your hand. Meanwhile, I'll quickly let you know what is the importance of table topic session. This is to develop your impromptu speaking skills so that as soon as you encounter a very difficult or a tricky situation, you're able to articulate your thoughts to create an impact with the other person. The timings allocated for a table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. You are required to speak minimum for 1 minute and maximum for 2.5 minutes. My request is to try to speak at least till the green card is lit. Also, the timer for this particular session is Madam Distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi, and she would be changing her virtual background, green, yellow, and red. Great, we have an enthusiastic timer. I am also somewhat enthusiastic table topic master. Let's have the enthusiastic speakers. So can we have someone? All right, I'm just going to pick up in that case. Toastmaster Hartika Ahuja, you will be my first victim.
Okay, I won't be able to turn on my video.
That is definitely very, very tragic, but still we'll just imagine using your picture. Toastmaster Hartika Ahuja. If you try, you may win. If you don't try, you'll definitely lose. If you try, you may win. If you don't try, you'll definitely lose. Toastmaster Hartika Ahuja.
Thank you, table topic master. This is something very well said, that if you try, you may win. If you don't try, you will definitely lose. I was thinking to lose weight, and I was doing some exercise for it, but I was not doing it up to the mark. Then one day I talked to my cousin that I want to lose weight. He said, just go, give it a try, go to the gym. I thought for it for almost 2.5 months, but I didn't join the gym. But then he told me that, why don't you join the gym? I told him that I have the fear that will I be able to do the exercise? I have the fear of doing this, having the having nice body pain. Then he told me that just give it a try. What will happen? At most you will not be going to the gym. But then one day came. Then I joined the gym. It was almost 1 month ago that I joined the gym, and I lost almost 3 kg weight. I did give it a try so that I lost weight. That was my example. I'm looking for your example. Oh, thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hartika. Now, may I request, all right, so Rupali has nominated. Rupali, if you can quickly unmute yourself and show us your pretty face, that would be great. All right, I am just going to, may I request the co-host or the host to spotlight Toastmaster Rupali? Thank you so much. Toastmaster Rupali, failure is the only opportunity to begin again. Failure is the only opportunity to begin again. Please pin the timer, Toastmaster Rupali.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, for the topic. last year I participated in that international speech contest from my club. I prepared for it so much. I was in love with my speech. It was on gender inequality, and I have been facing this since I have two daughters, and I know how pressing this issue is, and it really matters to me. And I really missed this thing, this gender inequality. So that topic was very, very much close to my heart, and I put so much effort into it. But somehow I lost. The member was very good. But for me, I felt like I gave my 100%, and the speech was also very good, and it was loved by everyone when I spoke in. I felt that day I learned a lot. I came to know about what a speech content, what type of content there should be in an ISC for competing in ISC, and what kind of vocal variety they are looking for. And I just went to look for like what are the things that judges look for when they are looking for a speaker for as an ISC contestant. So it's a small example where I was able to dig into my failures, to understand what it needs to come out as a winner. So having that said, it doesn't like I lost this year as well. I am a first runner-up from my club, but losing that year, I was able to put in some things this year. So I was a runner-up from my club. So I will be competing in the area contest. So I believe failures teach you many things. That's why failures are important. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rupali. Can I have my next victim, or should I pick you myself? Mr. Grammarian, have you unmuted yourself on purpose? No? All right. So if you have not done it on purpose, so I'm just going to consider this for a specific purpose. You will be my speaker number 3. Toastmaster Mukesh, we will either find a way or make one. We will either find a way or make one, Toastmaster Mukesh.
Thank you very much, to Table Topics Master. The world is, every person in the world is having too much of complaints. You find any one person from the crowd and they will be having a lot of complaints. They will be having lots of situations and circumstances going with them. But I have been thinking over time, what is the solution of it? Should I also join the crowd of complaining, or is there any solution for it? And then I saw this movie, Dashrath Manji, where he fell into one problem and he thought that I am going to solve this problem. Even though there have been circumstances that have changed his entire life, he was a happy living person and married with his dream girl, and he was leading his life well. But suddenly something came out that was not his fault, and the entire world broke down in front of his eyes. What should he do? Should he also end his life? But he decided otherwise. He just picked up his tools and looked at a gigantic mountain that was standing in front of him, and he said, I will break you down because you have broke me down. And he started digging the entire mountain without even thinking that he is a very tiny person in front of that gigantic mountain. The entire population, the entire villagers, and the entire world was against his this endeavor. Everyone was thinking that he is a mad person, but still his persistence, his this slideshow was so much that he ultimately continued it for the next 20 years, until he achieved that goal. So it is not that you just go for the complaint. You have to, if you want to do something, just start doing it, and ultimately you will be getting that thing done. That you table topics master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mukesh. We have a guest with us today who's a first timer into a Toastmasters meeting. First and foremost, Toastmaster Satya, I would request you to kindly unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and pin the timer for the day, Toastmaster Devina. And I also request the tech master to remove the spotlight on the previous speaker, if you can. Thank you. Satyanarayan.
Hi.
And can you please, great. He is on spotlight. Satyanarayan. The best way out is always through. The best way out is always through. You can take 10 seconds to think about it. Please pin Devina so that you're able to see the time. And I would request you to speak until the green light comes.
What's the last word? Always through.
The best way out is always through.
Okay.
Through. You can take 10 seconds to think, and whenever you're ready, you can start speaking.
All right. Let me try it out. I'll start with a quote from Roosevelt. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and be without flavor. And the best way out is always through, unless until you start taking tasks which require a lot of sits flesh. You need to get more work done without those works like we all do, which doesn't actually get excited us. We have a passion to do something, but the career and the job opportunities drive us to some kind of work which does not give us more excitement. So irrespective of that, unless we get into those kind of, unless until we push ourselves, and unless until we take tasks which requires a lot of sits flesh, we don't get it through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satya, soon to be a Toastmaster. So this concludes my table topic session for the day. And I would now like to give the stage back to Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Shivpriya. Let's have a huge round of applause for our efficient table topics master and all the competent speakers. Now it's time to start our professional speech. Our professional speaker of the day is TM Roli Sinha. Roli has been a Toastmaster for the last 3 years. She has been working with Cadence Design Systems, an MNC in the electronic design automation domain for the last 17 years. She is also responsible for the Cadence scholarship program that facilitates college education for underprivileged. She aspires to be a scintillating speaker one day. She loves to read and learn about the English language. Her short-term goals are to reduce crutch words and filler sounds to 4 in a 18 minutes speech, have 0 grammatical errors, use at least 4 uncommon words or phrases in a 18 minutes speech, and 0D to time limit. Please welcome our professional speaker of the day, TM Roli Sinha. Roli Sinha, punctuation rules, punctuation matters. Punctuation rules, punctuation matters. Roli Sinha.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting. I'd just like to confirm that the slides are visible.
Yes.
Okay. I won't be able to switch on my video. I apologize. So I shall just begin with asking this question from everyone. People can unmute themselves. Why do we need punctuation? Anybody?
To communicate clearly.
To bring the desired impact.
Okay.
Communications are like those non-verbal cues between the sentences which help you to communicate those intentions behind the words.
To save lives, rather. There is a famous punctuation quote which says, kill him, not save him, and the comma decides the person dies or lives. So it is a life and death problem, dear speaker. I do understand that.
Thank you so much, Madam Power Talk speaker. That was indeed excellent. Thank you. Okay, so here's something that you could read as a title, and it would have a very different meaning depending on what you intend to say from it. Is it a first time travel trip for those who are looking for time travel? Or is it the generic first time travel trips for those who are looking to travel but doing it for the first time, perhaps solo travelers? My daughter Sakshi said, I am fat. Now, this could mean that Sakshi said that I, Roli, is fat, or Sakshi was trying to say that she is fat. So punctuation here makes all the difference. We tend to think that because we are thinking about public speaking, it's not going to really make any difference. Where and how we punctuate, do we add the comma or we don't add the comma? Do we insert these quotation marks? Maybe they are just unnecessary. And if you would look at the messaging language that is used or the lingo that is used, you'll often find I am being spelled as M. There's not even an I, forget the apostrophe. And even if it is there, the I and M are connected and there is no apostrophe to separate them and indicate that I am something. So these kind of language changes are emerging and they are leading to confusions like our Power Talk speaker pointed out. For example, if I say I love my parents, Batman and Wonder Woman, and the Oxford comma as they call it, or the serial comma as they call it, is missing after the second word in the list, that is Batman, that means that my parents are Batman and Wonder Woman. And while I would love to think of it in that way, they're not. Batman and Wonder Woman, I don't think have even connected together, leave alone being parents of anybody. So the correct phrasing, I apologize for the extra space before the comma. And probably this is something that I have inserted because of my pet peeve. Very often I end up editing documents where the space is placed before the punctuation mark as opposed to after the punctuation mark. And this is my plea to all the attendees. Maybe you're not doing it and I'm very grateful for that. But if you're doing it, please understand the space has to come after the punctuation mark, not before. The word punctuate actually emerges from a Latin word which meant to make a point. And like some of you already clarified, that punctuation is required because it clarifies the sentence's meaning. It reduces any ambiguity there may be. It separates all links, the words or phrases and clauses that are there. A clause is a main idea, the words that indicate the main idea of a sentence. And for readers, punctuation tells us when to pause. There was a time in history when we did not have any punctuation. And this is how the writing looked like. Yes, this font was probably not there, but this is how the writing looked like. There were no punctuation marks, there were no spaces. People would add them wherever they wanted. Because while oration was a practice, an art that was being mastered by many, they did not expect that anything would be read the first time. It was expected that any person who's reading any text which has been written by some other person would take multiple tries to understand and comprehend what that text was saying. And finally, in the 3rd century BC, Aristophanes, who was a Greek librarian, gave up, and he tried to identify what this, what these kind of words were trying to say, and separated them with punctuation marks. His system was just basically 3 dots. So he had the top dot, which was the comma. Then he had the middle dot, which was the semicolon of today. And then he had the bottom dot, which is the period of today. So he just introduced a system of dots so that people would know that a main clause or a main idea in the sentence had ended, or there was a need to separate the sentence from other sentences altogether. But this effort was just removed from its existence in around 146 or 106 or 108 BC, when the Romans took over the Greek Empire. We recognize Cicero as one of the most influential orators of his time. He was a Roman statesman, and his intent, his quotation is that the end of a sentence ought to be determined not by the speakers pausing for breath or by a stroke interposed by a copyist, which means that when the speaker pauses for breath, that is not the reason why a sentence is ending. If a writer, a copyist, has marked it with a stroke, that does not mean that the sentence is ending. It has to be recognized by the constraint of the rhythm. So there is a rhythm in which they used to speak, or we speak in a rhythm, and that rhythm should identify where the sentence is ending. And he completely nullified the need for punctuation. Fortunately for us, Saint Isidore of Seville, which is somewhere in Spain, if you could, modern day Spain is where this would be, wrote a book called Etymologia or Etymologies. He rethought out, reinvented Aristophanes' punctuation, and he introduced period, commas, and semicolons. At the same time, towards the end of the 7th century BC, the Irish monks also added spaces. This is when the Gregorian chants were going on and Christianity needed things to be written. I apologize for this interruption, but I can't see the timer's cards. Devina, are you timing me?
Hi, Rudy. I am timing you. Don't worry,
Okay.
It hasn't yet come. I will be sending a message in the chat window.
Sure, thank you. Okay, and this is how punctuation marks started to gain weight in the 19th century. The comma meant that we pause just a little more when the semicolon appears, And then when the colon appears, we pause even more. And finally, there's a full termination when the period appears. It's an interesting poem that I've found, which was written by Cecil Hartley. You might want to just read it and see how punctuation makes a difference for people who are passionate and absolute fanatics of the language. The stop point out with truth the time of pause. A sentence doth require at every clause. At every comma, stop while one you count. At semicolon, 2 is the amount. A colon doth require the time of 3. The period 4, as learned men agree. That's how he specified how much pause we need to take when we read a sentence that contains any of these punctuation marks. Today, we have a set of 21. We don't use all of them all the time, but there are some which we use a lot. Ampersands are connectors between two words. Ampersand is the word that, so I've indicated the symbols for these punctuation marks along with the name of that punctuation mark. So as you can see, this is an ampersand, and ampersand indicates and. And when you don't want to sit and write those 3 letters, you can use this. It's very often used to bring in a little bit of interest in titles, in printed formats or magazines, just to attract people's attention. And then there are the apostrophes, which indicate when I'm trying to be extremely possessive. So if I don't say I am and I try to shorten it, that's one use of the apostrophe, where it's just an abbreviation. We are contracting the words. So for example, if I were to say can't or can't, so instead of cannot, I would place the apostrophe between N and T. The possessiveness of a noun, for example, this is my slide or this is Roli's slide. So ROLI apostrophe S is how it will be written. Asterisk is when something has to be multiplied or something has to be indicated as a footnote somewhere. So we're trying to specify that there is something which appears as a note to whatever sentence has been written. You'll often find this in tables, in any kind of written format, because tables don't have enough space. So sometimes the information that is not completely necessary for that cell is written below the table. And to connect the text which is below the table and with whatever is written in the cell, the asterisk is used. Brackets imply that whatever is written within these two parentheses is to be treated as one set. Then we have bullets. So for example, in our apologies for that. For example, in our slides, we have a tendency to use bullets to mark out our points. As a recommendation, I would suggest to everyone that whenever we are writing bullets, let's make sure of consistency. So the consistency has to be in the way we are ending that bullet point. If there is no need to have punctuation marks to end a bullet point. So if you just want to ignore it, you can completely ignore it, but ignore it consistently. In the same list, a bullet having a period at the end and then another bullet having no period at the end because it's just a phrase is being inconsistent. It does not read very well. It does not register in the minds of the readers very well. So when we make our content parallel in the sense of making sure that the bullet text is parallel in phrasing, in parallel in it is parallel in the way it is being written, the way it is being punctuated at the end, that makes for better reading, and that's the grammatically correct way of doing things. Colons mean that there is a list of words that is just about to come in. And that list of words could be separated by commas, it could be separated by semicolons. Then we have dashes. Now there's an M dash and there's an N dash. An M dash means that there is a phrase and there is a connecting phrase and there is a connector, but there is a slight disconnect between these two phrases, because of which it is not going to create a complete sentence. So those two phrases need to be separated, but to establish the connection and not to break these two into separate sentences, we use an M dash. We use an N dash when something like you can say the word 29 problems. So that would be just a small, it looks like a hyphen, but it's smaller than a hyphen. Okay. Then there are diacritic marks. I won't go into details here because there are many. We don't really use them, but you can look up these examples or you can go ahead and check the dictionary. You can get an idea of diacritic marks. These are to influence the pronunciation. For example, cafe, children's, facade, operator, Bronte, learned, and you can see the hyphen or the base bar on top of A and D, A and A, which means that A has to be pronounced as A. So it's an elongated thing. So it will be pronounced as payday. The tilde on top of any consonant in Spanish, it adds Y. So it is going to be pronounced as piña colada. And in Portuguese, the same tilde is adding a nasal sound. So it becomes São Paulo. Then we have ellipses when we are trying to say that there are more things, but we are not specifying all of these. The exclamation mark, hyphens, paragraph breaks, parentheses, and periods, question marks. These are things that we use in our everyday life. We don't really make a mistake out of it. Then there is spacing between words, which is extremely important. And quotation marks, we discussed, it's something that is being said or quoted from whatever the speaker has said. Like when I said, Sakshi said, I am fat. So I am fat, when it was within quotes, it implied that she was talking about herself. And I was quoting what she had said. Strike-throughs are very rarely used, but they indicate that we had an idea, but we're not using that anymore. So it's just to provide a contextual reference. So I just want to make everybody read this. Like this is one style of punctuation where This is how it reads. I want a man who knows what love is all about. You are generous, kind, thoughtful. People who are not like you admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me for other men. I yearn for you. I have no feelings whatsoever when we are apart. I can be forever happy. Will you let me be yours? Jane has written this letter, but there is another variation for this. When she says, I want a man who knows what love is. All about you are generous, kind, thoughtful people who are not like you. Admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me. For other men, I yearn. For you, I have no feelings whatsoever. When we are apart, I can be forever happy. Will you let me be? Yours, Jane. As you can see, I've just proven our Power Talk speaker's point that punctuation matters in life. Sometimes it can kill us, sometimes it can break us. I would have loved to do some exercises with all of you, but here's where I am going to part ways and hand over the stage back to Madam Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Roli, for giving us such a deep insight about punctuation. So now we are moving into our fifth segment, Power Talk. I would like to introduce our Power Talk speaker, very talented and charming.
1 minute of silence between for the speaker.
So we would like to have 1 minute silence for the audience to write the feedback for the speaker, our professional speaker. Thank you, Shivpriya. Now we are moving into our fifth segment, Power Talk. I would like to introduce our Power Talk speaker, very talented and charming Soumya Ram Iyer, who is an epitome of skills. She is a chartered accountant, soft skills trainer, performance coach, language coach, academic content management expert, author, editor, public speaker, model, and an NGO worker. She has worked with prestigious organizations like Tata Sons, Reliance Communications, Syndicate Bank, Raffles Corporate Advisory Services. Please welcome versatile and multi-talented Power Talk speaker Soumya Ram Iyer to the stage. Soumya Ram Iyer, hasty climbers have drastic falls, a personal sustainability perspective. Hasty climbers have drastic falls, a personal sustainability perspective. Soumya Ram Iyer.
Thank you so much. Although somebody achieves great heights in life, it is nice to listen to it once in a while. So thank you so much, first of all, for that. And it is kind of a dream come true listening to such good language and such talented Toastmasters speaking. I mean, as for the language is concerned, hopefully even I am a novice in front of all of you guys. To start with, the topic looks like a jargon. Let me break it down to very, very simple terms. Haste, what is haste? That we do something sooner than the time that is normally taken to do that particular thing. Fine example for this is the buildings that is being built in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai and everywhere today. You build 3 years later, it will fall completely. Hasty building falls quickly. That is the simplest example to start with. And in a personal sustainability perspective, this whole new word of personal sustainability has kicked in today because of a number of burnouts in the corporate industry. Earlier, we saw our fathers and our grandfathers go to job, come back at 5 p.m., have some time with our grandmothers, mothers, have a cup of coffee, have some time with us, and possibly take a walk in the evening, go meet their friends. Today, all we see of fathers is nothing, empty dinner chairs, even mothers at times, working professionals. So that is burning out. That is personal sustainability. Now, I wanted to approach this from a communications perspective. This being a forum, an August podium for communications and language, I wanted to approach it from a communications perspective. Another example of hasty communication, there was this company which was advertising in Dubai. They were advertising for a washing soap, detergent soap. Now, people who have been to UAE, you know that they write from right to left. We write from left to right. So this company put up 4 pictures, dirty clothes dripped into the bucket with the detergent, washing hands, clean clothes. Now, the UAE people read it. This seriously happened in the 1980s. Clean clothes, put the detergent, soil clothes. That's what they read it as, hasty communication, right? We wanted to advertise, but we didn't want to do market research. That is how we are all today. We want to be pet parents because actual parenting is sleepless, thankless job, right? We want to become parents like that. Go to the shop, lift a pet, put pictures on Instagram. So it is a life of instant gratification. Don't yield to instant gratification at all times because it is going to be very difficult to sustain in the long run. Another particular problem that happens in a communication stream, which is not sustainable, hasty, is overload of information. What is important, what is not important. This often happens with your maid. She comes in, more than her hand works, her mouth works. She'll tell you about D102, E302, watchman, his brother-in-law, everything. So now the price of tomatoes, when curfew is coming for Corona, she knows all the news. But what news is important, what news is not important for your sustainability is for you to segregate from that communication, right? So this is one non-hasty thing we need to do in communication is first segregating the overload for sustainability. Then comes the incomplete and short information. Incomplete and short information, first best example, teenagers. You really don't know if they like the food, they didn't like the food, they like the school, what did they do in the school? None of which you will come to know from there, this and this. I have a teenage daughter in the house. This is the only way we communicate. This means, yes, I'm going to do this. I like it. Exam was good. This means not good. If you're very lucky enough, you'll get a lip pursing. Like that. That you should be lucky. It doesn't happen every day. One another example which I would like to quote here, or instance of this incomplete communication, is there was a company where the CEO once said the solar eclipse will happen at 3:30 in the evening. We are going to set up a telescope on the terrace. Employees who are interested can come queue up at 3. Then it came to the vice president. It became solar eclipse, 3:30 equipment on terrace, employees can queue. Came to the VP, solar eclipse on terrace, employees can queue by order of CEO. Then it came to the next person, solar eclipse by order of CEO. Last person communicated to the employees, CEO is preparing for a solar eclipse. Please come to the terrace at 3:30. So this is how incomplete and communication changes in the grapevine. So do not trust everything that comes to you. CEO can of course not bring about a solar eclipse. If he does, should be called GOD, not CEO, right? So that is one thing that I wanted to tell at this point relating to sustainability perspective. So don't climb too fast. The word I wanted to use, I was tempted to use this word, although I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. The sits flesh movement should be moderate and it should be in the right order, not hasty, so that you fall down quickly and hurt the sits flesh. Yeah. So it's an amazing word.
I Googled up. I didn't know the meaning, of course. I Googled up and I wanted to use this word. Quickly, what should you do otherwise for personal sustainability? If I look like I've been hit by a lorry, I'm back from my 8-kilometer trek. That's what I do for my sustainability. I am always in the farm, on the farm, preposition, during the weekends. And I'm doing something, a grammarian would kill me, no, otherwise. So I'm doing something or the other which is totally not related to English training, soft skills training. I train for the IELTS, PT, Duolingo, and all other exams. Vernacular students. So you should know what kind of language I'll be getting throughout the week. There was this one guy, I gave him a topic to speak about a holiday that he went on. He said, no, I don't need preparation time. I'm ready to go. And the third sentence he said, I've written it down for you, is that I just passed away by Manikaran Ghat. Right? He passed over on a chopper. But the preposition was, I just passed away by Manikaran Ghat. Few other easy sentences that we use every day. We are a country which still says sister-in-laws. We'll never say sisters-in-law. That's not in law, right? So we are a country with vernacular students. So this podium is super important. You should make these meetings live. You should make it compulsory for school and college students rather. With all the LOLs and ROFLs floating around. For a long time, I thought LOL was lots of love. I didn't know it was laugh out loud. Anybody says something, he had a baby, one of my cousins said, I'm blessed with a baby girl. The mother and daughter are fine. I said, LOL. I thought it was lots of love, Soumya. But it turned out to be laugh out loud. You having a baby, LOL. So please do not be hasty like me at times to use the new age lingo. This cousin was 25 years something. We are all nearing 40s. So I thought LOL was lots of love. Then it led to lots of unlove, right? There is one sentence which I found very, very interesting. This was there in my daughter's Maths textbook. We were preparing for the exam the other day where there is an experiment to find out the perimeter of a square. It's called perimeter, right? Take a 5 centimeter wire of any length. Fold it into 4 halves. First 4 halves cannot happen. Take a 5 centimeter wire of any length. So that is how we practice English in this country and communications. But then it gets across because Indians are, the IQ levels are somewhere. So the communication gets across. Right. Now, how not to be a hasty climber with drastic falls in personal sustainability. Practice wellness at all moments in life. The day your project is rejected, it's okay. It gives you a red light that you have to be working better, or it gives you a signal that you are designed for some other project. The day I felt bad about, not bad, rather, I felt bored about being a CA for 12, 13 years. I did not even think for one moment. I thought, what are the other career options I have, which I will enjoy and which I'm passionate about also. What I can give up is probably a few thousands of money. You should be able to give up something. There is a cost to everything. There is nothing that comes. There are no free lunches anywhere, right? And practice thankfulness everywhere. Are we thankful to the guy who opened the gate for us, or the waiter who brought the glass of water? We take it for granted. Right? This taking for granted is from the childhood. Your mother is supposed to serve you dinner. Same way, the server is supposed to bring water. You're paying his salary, right? After all, I have this taken for granted attitude. I've seen this rising over the years amongst teenagers very dangerously. When I have students in the class, there is no student teacher. There is a client and service provider relationship most of the times. Please give up that relationship anywhere. Be very, very thankful for whatever comes to you every day. Today morning, Grammarian knows, I've put up a story on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. I was in a farm working on the haystack, tying up the hay into stacks. I was super thankful for them to let me work on the farm. I learned a new work. I learned to milk from the cows. That's what I did this weekend. So life is all about experiences. There is no destination. There is no goal. Living this day is the goal. Living now is the goal, is what I realized at 32, 33. Like Buddha sat under a Bodhi tree in some pub somewhere. I got some Divya Drishti, and this is what sorry for the Hindi word in the middle. This is what I learned, that living today is your goal, actually. Okay, stay open-minded. These days, there are a lot of changes technology is bringing in. a lot of changes human race is going through, especially post-corona. Stay open-minded. You can work online, you can study online, you can have a tea party. We have tea parties with friends. I just have one before this meeting. Make chai, make pakoda, sit in your own houses and have the same conversation. So change, adapt yourself to what life is throwing at you rather than sulking and making your wits dim, right? Don't be dim-witted. Don't become dim-witted. Let life challenge you, challenge it back. You're not allowing me to travel by flight frequently. I'm going to go road trip way. So don't allow anything to dim you out. Have the child inside you jumping and asking questions every day, right? We anyways ask so many questions to the spouses, right? So keep it like that. So always be poised for new growth. Be curious. Be curious about learning how a electric car that is going to be launched by Tesla is going to work. To what goes into a gajar ka halwa, which made it so yummy when your grandmother made it. So be curious about everything in life. That keeps you away from all the negativity. One thing I don't practice, I will never talk about my challenges. To everybody, I do have a breaking point and I have one or two people to discuss very, very briefly. I will never talk about the pains that I'm undergoing because they're part of my life. Even a caterpillar needs to undergo the process of painfully growing wings. That's how growth comes. Nothing happens in the comfort zone. We need to move our sixth flesh for greatness, right? So that is where I feel that we would have to keep our personal sustainability in a priority. We are a generation, we will ask a Facebook friend sitting in Europe about the cold she had last week and not know if our neighbor is alive or dead. So do not have this. Have a community. You know, when you place something in cushion along with other articles, it will take more beating. Same way, like the haystack today, I learned it. When they place the haystack in a particular pattern, the wind sways it, but it doesn't fall down. So that's how we need to be joining hands for sustainability. Be it communications, be it your climbing, make it one step at a time, but make sure that you're not coming back to this step to rectify something. There is no rectification. By the time you rectify in the corporate industry, there is one more person willing to take your place, who is sans rectification, right? So take it slow, but keep going one by one, keep exploring. Now I've explored 2 continents in the world. I want to explore whatever the rest is left, right? So like that, have personal goals alongside. Please have the habit of asking somebody when you meet first, not what do you do for a living or where do you work? Are you happy? When did you go on a road trip for the last time? Are you laughing every day? Everything is okay? They may look at you like you are a lunatic initially, but they will understand. Mature people will surely understand. Every time we meet somebody, we ask, oh, you're a vice president? That's great. You're a janitor? That's not great. No. That's a wrong approach. Years of Western tailor-made education system has, pushed upon us for 300, 400 years. Multi-generational abuse, mental abuse, right? To put the right term. Do not yield to it. I treat my maid and my boss the same way. There's no difference. I'm related to both these people. I pay one person pays me. It's as simple as that. So once you come to this wellness mindset, you cannot go back. It's an irreversible change. I have had fake cancer scares that I've undergone 2 months, right? I have had a weight loss of 89 to 59 kilos, what I am today. I was 92 kilos at one point. Can I show a pic? Is it allowed during the speech? Madam Anushpriya?
Yes,
Is it
yes, definitely.
I'll quickly share my screen with you after I locate the pic. It's just to give you a motivation that if this can happen, anything can happen, like that. Give me a second, please. Just 1 second. So I was not this person 15 years back, but I have continuously worked on myself every day. Just retrospect in the evening. Quick tips, just retrospect in the evening for a minute of what you liked about the day, what you didn't like about the day, and how you can expand what you liked and how you can contract what you didn't like. Okay, this is the picture. My screen is visible.
Amazing transformation.
So that's 92 to 59, I guess. The second one is about 8 months old. So that is how I'm qualified to even give this speech, that sustainability is important. And this happened over 6 years. No VLCC, no medicine, nothing. Sustainably happened. Lifestyle needs to be sustainable. My grandfather passed away this year. He was 99. Just with this one joke, I'm ending the session. I would have taken a minute more, I guess, a few minutes more. Just with this one joke, I'm ending this particular speech. He had a wheezing problem last year, 98 years of age. We took him to the hospital just to show him around, and they gave him nebulization. This doctor comes to visit him. It shows from the, it's a very huge, swanky, the multi-million-dollar hospital, multi-speciality resort hospital. So this doctor comes in with all air of superiority. He comes, he says, he's okay, you can take him. And then he asks, I just want to ask one thing. Why his reports are normal? No cholesterol, no BP, no thyroid, no nothing. How come? So then this guy is having his nebulization. This man is a very quick-witted man. He was in the Subhash Chandra Bose's army. And he's planted bombs in British offices. He was a rebel. We all have got his rebel blood, partly, whatever is flowing through. I'm a Royal Enfield trip captain. I ride bikes. So we've all got it one way or the other. So this man opened this very slowly. Calmly he asked, how do you come to the hospital? How do you come to work? Very unrelated question. The guy said, I have a Merc. I'm 25, but I have a Merc. I'm a surgeon. You know that I have got in life. Then he slowly said, until 95, I was riding a bicycle. He was. You come to office in a bicycle from tomorrow. In 2 years, your reports will also be normal. And he put it back. He didn't miss a beat. So this is what I learned living with my grandparents. I was gifted growing up with them and living with them. So this is what I learned. With that note, please be sustainable and then grow. Even if you're 2 steps below what you think your destination is, which is your assumption, you still lived your life to the fullest extent, which is more important. Thank you so much for presenting this before such brilliant minds and wonderful language masters. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya, for that captivating and inspiring power talk.
Thank you.
Now it's time for our last but most important segment, evaluation. Our general evaluator for the day is DTM Raj Mehta. Raj is a passionate Toastmaster since 2011. He is a postgraduate in industrial chemistry and Master of Business Administration in Finance from Delhi. He has worked in private, multinational, and government organizations like United Breweries, FECOR Group, and Ministry of Power. Since last 26 years, Raj has been working as Technology Transfer Officer at Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer and Industry Interface Unit at IIT Delhi. Please welcome DTM Raj Mehta to the stage. And I, Anshupriya Prasad, your TMOD for the meeting, is now signing off. I hope that you have had a great session with me. Over to you, DTM Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Anshupriya Prasad. As we go in the general evaluation section, we shall first take the evaluation of the speeches and then the reports from the supplementary role players, and then I will give my evaluation of the meeting as a whole. So I would request Toastmaster Rolly Sina, who was the professional speaker, to kindly come on the stage and take the evaluation of our PS. Toastmaster Rolly Sina.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I'd like to hear first from our grammarian, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. Sir, could you share your feedback?
Yeah, Ronnie, it was the content that you have shared was mesmerizing. If we go deep into your presentation, it will be mesmerizing for me. I'm average Noah of English language, and the way you had presented, you started with a very simple thing, but the The moment you get down, it was amazing. My only recommendations to you are if you are putting too much, you are going into too much depth, and people are thinking that it is not of that much use in my day-to-day language, and there is no interesting or something humorous going on, then you may lose out your audience. That is my only recommendation, and maybe some vocal variety or give your content with some example. For example, for all type of punctuation, one example, make it interesting and go further. So it will be memorable as well as interesting.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. I'd like to hear from our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Oli Sinha. I like your presentation and the content and the knowledge which it had. I really like the different explanation of different punctuation, because that was the core of your speech. I'm just worried whether there is this type through is also a part of punctuation, and I also felt that in between while you were speaking, there was some disturbing sound of rubbing something that could have taken over. And also, I think you got worried while giving this speech about the time. I think that should not have been should not have been happened, because timing is something which was being managed by somebody else, and the person would have definitely understood the responsibility. So, barring just getting yourself disturbed due to time that otherwise it was a knowledgeable piece of speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I hear from distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gauri?
Thank you, Madam Rodi. One thing which I really liked is that you started and ended with "Mom, I'm fat." I think that kind of completes the circle, which is pretty great. And also, I like the way that for each and every punctuation, you had shared an example so that you could display the impact. My only request is that pick out just maybe a top 5 or 6 punctuations which are used very well, or whichever you find it most tricky. Otherwise, people like us who are generally not that educated in punctuations could get extremely confused at the end of the day. So you really overestimated your audience. So probably you could dumb down the content complexity which you intend to show.
Thank you. May I hear from distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi?
Hi, Toli. I really enjoyed the entire experience. I actually did not know where punctuations came from or why do we use them. In the sense that, I mean, I knew it, but I was never explicitly taught them. So it was a new learning for me today. My only recommendation, if any, would be to challenge yourself and make one sentence out of all the punctuations to kind of illustrate them, instead of having to delve deeper into each one of them and that taking a longer amount of time.
Thank you. Can I hear from our art counter, Gayatri?
Truly, it was a very, very, very educational speech. And my only recommendation would be that examples would have helped you explain the rules in a better way. Instead of spending time on explaining every rule, you could have just given an example, and example would have explained the rule in a more effective way. All in all, it was a wonderful speech. And the other feedback I'll give in my counter report.
Thank you. May I hear from our Power Talk speaker, Soumya? You can provide your critique on it. So
Okay.
any improvement areas?
All right. I thoroughly enjoyed the historical perspective and the kind of explanation that Roli had offered for how they came into existence and what was the pertinence of each of the punctuations. 3 to 4 quick points. One is I'm giving this from the perspective of being an online educator for 4 to 5 years now, having students from all 7 continents almost. So that's the only perspective I'm throwing in. I'm not an expert in language as good as you guys. So quickly make it more picture oriented. The minds are drawn towards pictures and videos more than sentences and speeches. A few instances which could have been brought in the manner of weaving it into a tale or something would bring in minds into it very easily, and it will retain audiences concentration. And yes, like somebody else also pointed out, one example per punctuation, and then starting it from there would have made it more relevant. That's all. But I like the voice, her pitch, the way she brought in things, and with the peace with which she was explaining it. Those were the highlights.
Thank you so much. There is my red card, and I'd like to hand it over back to our generally evaluated distinguished Toastmaster Rajmita. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rolikina. Now I request Devina Chaturvedi, DTM, to come on the stage and take the feedback from the audience on her speech. I would request to kindly try to maintain the time.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. A note of caution for all those sharing their evaluations. I am looking explicitly for recommendations since I plan on repeating this project at another club, starting with our grammarian, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
Devina, I don't have any recommendations. I really enjoyed your entire speech. It was really interesting, and the way you bring content and plan it with the visuals, it is really amazing. That keeps all the audience members of audience intrigued throughout. My only recommendation is that the speech starts with like this, it goes in this, and at the end it and concludes at the end. So you started with happiness. You said that you people were dumping and you were not happy at the end. At the end, you concluded it happiness, but there was still something just before the conclusion. You said something that was not at this level, that energy. If that you could also take care of that thing, it will be amazing. And one more thing, more confidence and flow, more pace.
Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya.
Hi, Toastmaster Devina, distinguished Toastmaster Devina. My only recommendation is that when you use a presentation, you kind of distract the audience, and your pictures are really adorable, especially as a kid. So people do not really look at you; they only look at the picture. Try to use it a part of your virtual background, so that when you don't want them to look at the pictures, you have an absolute control of the audience attention. So I want you to be the navigator of the same rather than being a victim of the same. So thank you very much. Back to you.
Okay. Shivpriya, would you like to give any comment on my pace today?
Pace was a little bit higher in between, but I somewhere felt that it showed your excitement. So it is not pretty much a recommendation. I think that is how you were trying to distinguish between your emotional state. So you kind of used it well with the audience because it was about you. And I felt that your pace was kind of adding to the conviction which you wanted to demonstrate. So it's not a recommendation.
Thank you. Mr. General Evaluator, would you have any comments?
Yeah, so if you're just looking for recommendations, I would say that why the speech was done in a third person voice, why not in the first person voice? Secondly, I felt that it was not a speech, it was a conversation or a talk. So I felt that it was not prepared. And you could have also added your future plans. I missed it on that you are also working in the KPMG, which is a very reputed firm. So I missed some information, and I also missed on your future plans. So that could have been added. Otherwise, it was interesting, and we came to know many things about your childhood and how you have been brought up till now, and many of your qualities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rasa. That's indeed really helpful. I'll do that when I repeat this. Final comments from Anisha.
Hi. Yeah, DTM Devina, I really loved your speech. It took from my own experiences of childhood. I just felt that as powerful and exciting the start was, the ending could have that same energy. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thank you. Roli was not there. Anshupriya, do you have any comments? I'll then jump to our second speaker, Sandeep. Would you have any comments for me?
Dina, I really enjoyed your speech. The only recommendation, I think, in the beginning you said she is. I think you should, rather than use I, that would be more impactful.
All right. So in the remaining time, I'll just like to say that's just an escape mechanism for me. It's very hard for me to talk about myself like that. So when I just talk about it in the third person, it just makes it easier. But yes, point well taken, and I'll try and work on that. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Devina Chaturvedi, DTM. Now coming on to the next speaker, over to Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar.
Thank you. I will begin with Gayatri.
Sandeep, the camera angle that you placed, you wanted to speak about the childhood. You could have just placed it a little towards, you could have centered yourself in between those teddy bears and the curtains instead of giving us a view of your TV or the bed. The camera angle should have been to your eye level. Second recommendation is, because it is a prepared speech and you are working on your language skills, as an audience, the errors in your language were a little distracting. Considering that it's your prepared speech, you could probably run it through your mentor, or you could run it through Microsoft Word or Grammarly, because it might not appear that important, but sometimes frequent grammatical errors, they really distract the audiences from the main point. So that would be my most important recommendation for you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Guest Satya. How did you like the speech? Any recommendations for improvement?
I don't know whether I'm supposed to give feedback. I'm here myself to improve, to be very honest. And your speech is quite prepared, but could have been more consistent in the delivery and punctuation. That's what we learned today. And more than that, I was not able to follow the content very well. Maybe there was a little bit more theatrics or punctuation is secured in your delivery of speech. That's all I would say. I'm also here to improve. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me hear from guest Naveen.
Sandeep, it was a pleasure listening to you, and how you related to the earlier speech of Devina, and you involved everybody to sing along with you. I really like that. One thing you could have done is, you have a lot of these soft toys behind you, so you could have used props, and yeah, that could relate to the topic of the speech. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me hear from Rasa.
Thank you, Sandeep. I really like this, especially the part that your body language. Point is that in spite of the fact that you were sitting on the seat, but you were able to have wide body language, while when you are falling, when you are picking up things, when you are using the teddy bears. Really like it. I just wanted that you should have given this particular speech while standing. That could have added more colors to the rainbow. And I really liked your presence of mind, having or giving a reference to Devina's speech into your speech. That was something Miss I liked very much. And you ended with a song that was also a cherry on the cake. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me hear from our Power Talk speaker, Soumya.
Soumya, you are mute. Soumya, you are mute.
I am so sorry. I have always been the tutor on unmute. So the first time I am in the student mode on mute. So I'm sorry. Sorry, man, I didn't hear your speech, his speech rather, because I came back from the trek at 4:15. 4 o'clock I reached home, I guess. So that's one reason I couldn't listen to it. But overall, from what the comments the others had been telling, I feel that you guys are probably on a 7+ scale out of 10. There are a few small knickknacks that obviously you could pick up in the coming days from veterans. Those are part of this group. So I guess that's going to be okay. In another 2-3 sittings, you're going to observe, you're going to try to mimic, and you're going to learn more, is what I think.
Let me take the last feedback from Devina.
Hi, Sandeep. I have written 3 hearts for 3 different things. First is I love the entire tone of the speech, which is just so positive and so jolly. I love the theme selection, which was highlights and the highlight reels in childhood. And I love the structure of the speech, particularly with a clear opening, well-structured body, and a strong conclusion with the song. My only suggestion is, if the purpose of the speech was to just deliver a light-hearted, entertaining speech, this was flawless. But if it was to persuade people to take action and really go into watching their highlights and their childhood, relive their childhood, it needed more persuasion and more call to action.
Thank you, Devina. That is all. Thank you all for providing feedback. I will definitely incorporate and will provide the speech again. Sorry, deliver the speech again. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. Now, coming on to the reports by the supplementary role players, I would request Shivpriya Gauri, DTM, to kindly give the report of the timer.
Mr. General Evaluator, I believe that I'm supposed to give the timers report after the grammarian and our counter.
Okay,
May I request you to move to them first?
May I request our counter, Toastmaster Gayatri, to kindly give the report as the our counter.
Can you please enable my screen sharing rights?
Just a minute. It's already enabled.
I have stopped the screen share.
Okay, thank you so much, Shivpriya. So here is the report from the accountant's office. Anshupriya and Roli Sinha, you both had one particular pattern when it came to the, which was like stretching the words. It went like off, in, was, when. They were not exactly filler sounds or filler words, but the sounds were stretched a lot. Maybe they were replacing the filler sounds. Today at the accountant's office, there were a lot of double crutches as well. So when we say double crutches, a particular word was almost spoken, but it was broken in the half, and another word was spoken. Or it was one started speaking that word, but realized that the pronunciation was wrong. So once again spoke that word. So that happened quite a lot. And sometimes in an entire sentence, the double crutches were done, that 3 words were spoken, but somebody realized, okay, I've made a grammatical error and this is not how I want to start my sentence. So they went back to the beginning of that particular sentence, and that happened with almost everyone today. So that is one place where I think the entire team could work on. To point out everyone separately, I'd say there were some unintentional pauses. Unintentional pauses were also very high. So when I say unintentional pauses, for instance, Sandeep, when you took your unintentional pauses, it was like one day I witnessed DTM so-and-so. So the pauses were not rightly placed. And that's why they were called as unintentional pauses. Maybe the speakers were not prepared to use the prepared, or they did not know what the next word would be, and they were buying some time to arrange or organize the rest part of the sentence. But those unintentional pauses were at large in today's meeting. With Roli Sinha, I would say one more thing, Roli. The word it was used very frequently. I mean, it was used in repetition. While we were talking about punctuations today, I would just suggest that instead of putting a full stop, you could have just used punctuation comma in terms of short pauses, so that it would have been more impactful. And like Roli used the word it a lot, I believe Soumya Ram Iyer, who was a Power Talk speaker, her favorite word was this, right and okay. And another thing that happened with Soumya was the articles and the. These two articles were used as filler words, wherein they were used in the places where articles were not actually required. Shivpriya, again, there was a lot of stretching of words like my, definitely, and that's how it went. Even with our table topic speakers, there were a lot of filler words and a little bit of stretching of sounds. So that is how I would like to end my counters report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I request grammarian Mukesh Thakur, DTM, to give his report.
Thank you very much. As a grammarian of the day, I had a very relaxing day. I was on my edge to take all the notes, but you people disappointed me that you did not give me much opportunity to find areas of improvement from you. So I just found some slight mistakes, and that is in my opinion. For example, it is like rainbow, so it could happen. It is like a rainbow, and it is related to article. No integrity. I did not understand what the word. What was the word? I don't find, and I don't think this is a
Intrigue.
word. No
Intrigue.
intrigue. Yeah, but it was not used in the right sense, I guess, considering the context. So maybe I will connect with the speaker later. Now, handling the children. So I think the door will not be placed before children. So it is again article thing. And 3 kgs weight. So it could have been 3 kgs of weight. And there are some improvements required for some of us in terms of usage of articles. Appropriate usage of articles is really tough. I find some speakers like Devina and Rodi Sinha, Rupinder Singh, who never miss any, who does not make any error in the use of any language. However, some of us still needs to just fly and do the best use of our language. Some of the good uses are done by presiding officer by reciting the entire poem. The entire poem was well structured and delivered in the right context for introduction of the theme as well as the Toastmaster of the day. Then Anshopriya Prasad said chills down my spine. It was good use of phrase on the context. Distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi started with the definition of a mirror that was very very well put contextually. Again, distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi, confidence deteriorated. Devina Chaturvedi again dumps everything on her. The way she used the entire phrase or the way she explained her feelings was good. Sandeep used various words related to superiority, inferiority, integrity. However, there is one small recommendation for the speaker here that he may improve pronunciations of these kinds of words more. And our part of the speaker, Soumya Ram, used instant gratification. That was something new to me. The word of the day was just flash. Just flash. I think some of us used it, but it was slight over or under. So there are various pronunciation under British and USA. So it can be either six flash or this flash. It is used by me once, Satyanarayana, the table topic speaker, and the power topic speaker Soumya Ram Kumar twice. Overall, we are improving much. We are giving much importance to much opportunities to the grammar, and that is a good thing. Maybe our some just the flies, we may remove the entire office of the grammarian. That too is really well.
Thank you, Mukesh Thakur, DTM, as a grammarian. Now I request Shipriya Gori, DTM, to submit the report of the timer. Over to Shipriya.
You, Mr. Thank you, sir. Could you just give me a minute so that I could share the report? Please confirm you're able to see my screen. It is indeed a very tough day at the timer's office. We had a lot of our role players who exceeded time way above than the allocated time. Let's start with Devina. Devina spoke for more than 39 seconds. As opposed to 6 minutes 30 seconds, which was a maximum time limit. Sandeep, you were definitely a savior, and you spoke at the yellow timing or the midpoint with 6 minutes and 3 seconds. The table topic session was conducted overall within time. The speakers have spoken between 1 minute and 2 minutes 30 seconds, except the fourth speaker who just missed by 3 seconds. I would encourage everyone to speak at least for 1 minute so that you could see the green card, so that you're eligible for conducting a table or speaking on a table topic. Coming to Madam Power Talk speaker, I think she also ignored my message by 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Our Power Talk speaker also missed the red card by a very big margin. So her maximum time was 10 minutes, but she spoke for 18 minutes, 11 seconds. The evaluation for our professional speaker went on for 6 minutes and 31 seconds as opposed to 5 minutes. Devina was definitely a blessing, and she sought evaluations for 4 minutes and 47 seconds. You have covered half of the time which you had exceeded, so kudos on that. Toastmaster Sandeep spoke for 5 minutes, 31 seconds, but sought feedback for 5 minutes and 31 seconds, but still he's overall within time, adding his both speech as well as evaluation. The R counter spoke for 3 minutes and 22 seconds. She ignored my red card. So did the grammarian by a large margin of 4 minutes and 9 seconds. And I have so far spoken for 2 minutes and 4 seconds. This is the report from the timer's office. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, timer Shipriya Gori, DTM. Now I shall submit my report. First, I will take it the table topic session, which was conducted by Shipriya Gori, DTM. As a table topic master, she was nice in introducing the objective and application of the table topic session, and also the timing rules. And I also felt that the topics were in line with the theme of the meeting. One recommendation I would like to give here is that while she had given 10 seconds to one of the table topic speakers, she should have applied the same rule for all the table topic speakers. Otherwise, it was an interesting table topic session, and I'm sure that all of us must have enjoyed it. Now, coming on to the table topic speakers, the first table topic speaker was Haritika, and her topic was, if you try, you will win. If you do not try, you will definitely lose. And she immediately started by telling an incidence of her life in which she said that she wanted to reduce her weight, and she consulted with her brother and ultimately was able to reduce her weight by 3 kg. It is the best way of speaking on a table topic topic by telling a story from speaker's own life or from the life of others. She should have taken some time for thinking about the topic and then could have started it. That could have made the speech even better. Now, coming on to table topic speaker number 2, Rupali, her topic was, failure is only opportunity to begin again. And she narrated the part of her life when she lost in a speech contest, but instead of losing it further, she took it as a challenge and again participated in the speech contest and one at the second position. So she was on dot on the as far as the topic is concerned, and she was confident. I do not have any recommendations for her. Third table topic speaker was Mukesh Thakur DTM, and his topic was we will either find a way or make one. And he was on dot when he told us the story of Manji and the efforts put in by that person and how he has become famous. And even after his death, he is remembered because of the facility he has created by cutting a mountain and making way for others. And I really liked his story, and he was also on dot, and he ended with a good message, which was the core point of the table topic speech. Next table topic speaker was Satya, guest, and his topic was the best way out is always through. He started well, and he talked about. He also used a word of the day. Kudos for that. He was confident. Instead of just telling and repeating the topic and talking something in general, he should have added some story that could have that could have made him able to speak at least for 1 minute. But he was confident, and I really like his confidence. All in all, it was a good and interesting table topic session. Coming on to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anshupriya Prasad. She started well. Well, in the sense that she talked about the theme and how she pushed herself for coming through the table topics, which was a point of worry for her. And also she pushed herself for taking up the new pathways. The introduction of the sessions was done in the proper way, and speakers were also introduced as per the introduction given by the speakers. I would like to give a recommendation to her, and that is that in spite of the fact that 1 minute had gone without officially observing 1 minute after the speaker number 1, she should have given formally 1 minute so that the audience would understand what they were supposed to do during that 1 minute silence. And one more positive point about the Toastmaster of the day is that she had added the short-term goal of each and every speaker as a part of the introduction. So through that, though it was repetition, we already knew that what is the short-term goal of the speakers, but as in this can be added as a part of the introduction. Overall, it was a nice and educative speech because we really came to know about new things about punctuation, and also the Power Talk speech by Soumya. And she talked about personal sustainability, instant gratification, and segregation of unimportant communication and important communication, and examples of solar eclipse. And the most important thing which in her speech was the life challenges you challenge it back. Only recommendation is that if she could have managed her time. Overall, a nice speech, and we also experienced a good report by Toastmaster Gayatri and Mukesh Thakur and Shipriya Gauri. As a whole, I would like to comment on 3 points about today's speech, today's meeting. One is that the commitment which was kept by Toastmaster Rollis in spite of some existence of some work. Secondly, cooperation by Devina in the role of the timer. And third, the role taken by guest Gayatri as the hour counter. And and she had played that role very nice. It was a good meeting, and I liked it, and I'm hopeful that other members and guests also must have liked it. With this, I end my report and over to the presiding officer, Raj Mehta, DTM. So, friends, officially, we end with the formal activities of speeches and evaluations and things like that. How was the meeting? Let's ask from our guest.
Sir, can I speak?
Yeah.
Naveen here.
Yeah, Naveen.
It was a long time since I saw you, so I thought this was a good opportunity. And there's always something to learn when Raj sir is there. And one of the interesting things I saw was the addition of the short-term goals. Publicly committing to goals, I think this is really a good practice. And otherwise, we tend to take things casually, and they brag on. And there was so much energy, and I enjoyed it. I mean, one thing I can say is the only thing which was missing in this meeting was Shid's flesh. One cannot say that it had Shid's flesh. I never slept, and there is something personal I would like to add. The first speech by Devina, it did not have only the bells ringing. It had the whole, fire brigade ringing in. Many years back, I was a young management trainee at a project, and I was homesick, and I was quite sick of cold. And I was treated by a very handsome doctor couple. And after that, when she talked of the project, then I remember that. And I left for Reserve Bank of India for different reasons. And today I came to know what I had missed. I had met Devina in 2018 in Agra oration. She was full of energy, she was managing everything, and I hardly had time to talk to her. And one bonus from this meeting is that I came to know what I had missed. I left before the star was born. She happens to be the daughter of Dr. Sudeep Chaturvedi and Dr. Preeti Chaturvedi, who were in the project when I had gone there. So this baby I know from many years back. So this was a very, very personal, and this is, the theme of the speech of the session today was pushing on, because you don't know what life holds for you. Every day is a surprise, and today I got a bonus. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Naveen Sharma. May I now request guest Anisha Gupta to give her comment about the speech, about the meeting.
Thank you, DTM Raj Mehta. Attending a meeting at professional speakers, Toastmasters is always an adventure ride. Like sometimes I'm literally at the edge of my chair. So, and especially this meeting, so this was my second meeting with the club. And I am glad that I was able to listen to Devina's humorous speech, her like icebreaker for humor, and Mr. Sandeep's speech. And in fact, Toastmaster Roli Sinha's very informative session on punctuation, which is like my also interest area, maybe like to call myself a grammar Nazi, used to be, or so and a humorous power talk. Like I especially loved what Soumya presented. So this was an adventurous ride for me, definitely, and I think this is what keeps me bringing back to the club. I hope to attend more meetings. Maybe hope to join soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. May I now request Toastmaster Gayatri to give her feedback about the meeting.
Yes, this is a professional speakers club, and whenever I feel like now I want to really do, like she just spoke about the grammar Nazi. So this is one place where I can really exercise all my Nazism, be it as grammarian or as timer or as accounter. And I was so I know that this is one platform that where I can diligently listen to every R and every and I can say 10 plus R's and nobody is going to mind. Everyone is going to take it very positively and nobody is going to get demoralized. So I love this platform because here every feedback is taken in right sense and right stride, and that makes me really happy. So I love coming to these meetings.
Thank you, Gayatri. May now request guest Satya Narayan Dinakaran to give his feedback about the meeting.
So, all my sincere thanks to Ms. Raj for accepting my participation today with a very short notice. I just called him taking the Google phone number, and I was searching for impromptu speaking delivery and styles online, and I came to know about Toastmasters. This is my first time getting introduction about Toastmasters. I believe this is a whole world out there. Thank you very much, Ms. Raj. And it is very intriguing. It's very overwhelming for me. It's honestly, it's too much for me today. I must take it a little slow. I would definitely make it a point to attend the next few sessions and go on with that. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Raj. Yeah.
Thank you, Satya. You're always welcome to join us as a guest.
Right.
And now may I request the Power Talk speaker, Soumya Ramaiah, to give her feedback about the meeting.
This was one of the best sessions that I've attended, both in national as well as on international podiums. The best point is there is an order to everything. There is a time management that's happening. Like Gayatri rightly pointed out, there is a feedback system which is being taken positively. And there are exchange of thoughts which can trigger new thoughts and new perceptions in everybody's mind. And all of this happens from the comfort of your home. So now this is all of it that I have to say about this session. I'm super thrilled to be here, and all the best to all of you guys for many more sessions like this. And yes, I would be willing to, and I in fact love to be a part of sessions like this. Thank you.
Thank you. With this, we end the formal meeting or formal activities of our meeting. And now it's networking session. I would request members to give their feedback about the meeting, and if some member would like to help some member in the short of goals, or somebody would like to offer help to other members.
I have a word to say to Satya.
Yeah.
I can speak here. I have a word to say to Satya. Sorry.
Sorry.
Should I stop the live streaming?
Yeah, please do that.